My weekly, violent...
Calling for vengeance and violence.
For violence and vengeance,
Again,
right?
the Hub on Hollywood does not condone violence or acts of rage and anarchy.
No,
Just putting that out there for legal reasons. Welcome back to the Hub on Hollywood podcast. I'm your co-host, James Rojas.
And I'm the host with the most, Jamie Blanco.
Absolutely. On this week's episode, we have a great interview with a local New England actor who is not in one, but two Oscar-nominated films, Dustin Tucker. Also, speaking about the Oscars, the Academy is adding a new award category, Disney announcing new movies, and to no one's surprise, they're all sequels. Joy. And Cher really needs to talk to Paul Giamatti for some mysterious reason. We will get into that. But first, let's get into local filmmaking news here in Massachusetts, where there is a local theater owner hoping to bring Hollywood north of Boston.
Yes, and that is what we need, says the actress north of Boston. We do have a number of really big movie studios here in Massachusetts, but the owner of the North Shore Music Theater in Beverly wants his location to be the newest spotlight, to bring audiences and joy of creating beautiful shows and movies and films from the stage to the silver screen.
Absolutely. So Bill Haney, as we said, he's the owner of North Shore Music Theater, also the Theater by the Sea in Wakefield, Rhode Island. He recently spoke to Sherry Small with WBZ News Radio, saying that he believes he has the right business and the right location for a movie studio. And this only makes sense because, as you know, Massachusetts has a permanent tax credit for filmmaking here. So I think it would be a really, really good investment. Bill, he's reached out to apparently friends in the filmmaking industry, and they think it's a good idea. So there is support, there is interest there. If they were to build this, the movie studio would be on the property in Beverly, behind where the theater currently is. And so I can already imagine this not only helping the theater, but also, obviously, if they have the studio, you can kind of do maybe a little double whammy where you invite people in before the theater for a Universal Studios kind of theme park ride, or a walkthrough of the studio space of whichever film is filming at the time. What do you think?
Sure. And a backlot tour followed by, Romeo and Juliet in the round. I don't know if you've ever been to the North Shore Music Theater, James, but I really love it. I take my son there to watch the junior productions of shows, and it's in the round, a circular theater, and it's a staple of the community. But so movie theaters in Massachusetts, and we are, of course, the Hub on Hollywood because we are Hollywood East, and every year film and production becomes bigger and bigger here in New England. There are a number of movie studios that already exist that are very large, that have been drawing the best of the best, the top directors, the top talent, the biggest feature films. You've got the Marina Studios in Quincy. There's a huge sound stage there. You've also got a big film production facility in Devens, Massachusetts. But all of these places are south of Boston, right? They're all down there, and I'm just being completely selfish here. And when I say that I'm tired of driving an hour and a half to get down there, when we're doing a production. I'm not tired of being casted, mind you. Please continue to cast everyone, all of the local actors.
But especially Jamie.
Jamie Blanco. But it would be nice. It would be, I think, a huge boon for the north of Boston region to have our own movie studio up here.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of talented folks live north of Boston. And so, and again, if you are, including Jamie Blanco and Dustin Tucker, way north of Boston, which we'll get to later in this episode. But if there is a studio media desert, why not fill it? Why not create an oasis? Get rid of that mirage and make it into a real thing. I think it's a good idea. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, Bill is able to get. I don't know if he needs funding, if he needs approval, permits, whatever he needs to make this happen. I hope it happens.
I think a lot of people that I've been seeing that are in the sort of the film industry have been sharing this idea ad nauseum. Basically, my entire Facebook page is people sharing this story right now. Yeah. So there is, what is this called? Inertia. There's power. There's momentum. There we go. Behind the idea for sure.
Excellent. Well, we'll keep a close eye on this and see if there are any updates, how well this goes, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. We're also going to keep our fingers crossed that the Boston Red Sox have a much better season than their previous season. The Red Sox, they are not only have they gone to Florida, Fort Myers, for spring training, but they are also going to Netflix. Did you hear about this, Jamie? There's a docu-series, kind of like the NFL's Hard Knocks, that will be following the Red Sox during their spring training. You know, seeing the ins and outs, the highs, the lows, the fouls, and the in-drive hits. I know baseball.
You sound like a sports maven. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think this is the first time Netflix is doing this. And so I think it's, Red Sox, a very popular, very strong fan base. So I think it makes sense for them to go with them for this behind the scenes look.
Yeah. The Red Sox packing their bats, their balls, their gloves, and the docu-series, camera equipment that it's following them around. I mean, you couldn't find a more ravenous fan base who is just ready to consume this when it is ready to go up on Netflix. So I think in that way it's a really smart decision. But to be able to get to see the ins and outs, as you were saying, of how the team does what it does throughout the entire season, that's something that would get me a little bit more interested in the sports. Yeah.
And we could pinpoint exactly where things went wrong. I'm like, episode 3 when this outfield coach suggested this. That's where they went wrong.
They've got the
we know who to blame. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So I don't know if I would want that. If I would want a camera crew following me around all the time to see, all my wins and my losses. But it's something for Red Sox Nation and all the New England Red Sox fans to look forward to as that is filmed this season.
And you know what Disney fans have to look forward to? A plethora of sequels that have just been announced. I love using the word plethora. Have you seen the movie The Three Amigos with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Chevy Chase?
A long time ago, yes. Yeah.
So good. Whenever I can try to quote that movie, I quote it. Would you say I had a plethora of gifts? Oh yeah, Chapo, a plethora. What does a plethora mean? Okay, I'm going on a tangent. But what my point is that Disney has a lot on their slate that they just announced, and I don't know how you feel about this, Jamie, but basically every movie that they announced that's coming out soon is a sequel. Starting with Toy Story 5.
Right. Okay. We've talked about this before. A couple of things. We don't need millions and millions of sequels. I know you've got this great intellectual property. You've got this great IP. It made lots of money for you. And so you're going to continue to, milk it, beat the dead horse, every analogy that there is. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are unique ideas that people will love, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Jamie, that sounds silly. Unique ideas? Don't be a fool.
Oh my gosh. But how many more stories can you wring out of these poor toys? These poor toys in Toy Story. Yeah, you have a child. She's young. Yeah. But I have some kids that are older. The toys don't last that long, James.
I was just thinking that too. I was just thinking that, like, these toys should be missing arms, legs, their colors, like the paint like dripping off. Like, these things should not be. They should be filled with gunk, with food, with like stickers and band-aids and dirt. Like, these things should not still be intact. Maybe that's the next movie. Maybe that's what the plot is. Like,
it becomes a horror film. Yeah.
They're trying to continue to survive, to live. That needs to be the plot, I think.
I think Toy Story probably should have burned up in that that dump fire with lots of air at the end of Toy Story 3.
Here's the thing, though. Here is the thing. So after Toy Story 3, I thought it would have been a great ending to the trilogy at the time. And then when they announced Toy Story 4, I was like, I don't like the idea of this because number 3 ended on such a good note. However, at the time, Toy Story has not done me wrong. They keep getting better. 1, 2, 3. They each progressively got better. So I'm like, you know what? I am gonna reserve judgments and see how number 4 comes out. Turns out number 4, I won't say it's better, unfortunately, than part 3, but I think it is a really, really good movie. And so at this time, I still have to kind of, let them do their thing until proven otherwise. I know Tim Allen was saying, I think you sent me this, but he was saying that if that his suggestion for the plot would be the kids being passed down from Andy to Andy's kids. I don't know how that would work out, because that would mean that the girl that he passed the toys on would have to give them back, or Andy would have to break into her house and steal the toys back. Like, how does that happen? So that has to be sorted out.
Right. Yeah, that's what Tim Allen.
What if that's the movie? Andy falls on hard times and has to break into that girl's house, her room, steal the toys. That'd be dark. And gritty.
Well, maybe we have a whole new crop of toys. Imagine that. Yeah. We've got a whole new crop of toys. Or somehow, because in the last movie at the end of Toy Story 4, spoiler alert, Woody runs off with Bo Peep, and they're now, going on their various adventures.
They're
of
fugitives.
Just being, sort of, I guess. And they're just toys that have no owner, and they're just traveling the world together. But what if they find their way back somehow? Or what if the whole process is them trying to find their way back, and then they get to be Andy's kids' toys?
That's like part 1. That's the plot of the first Toy Story. Like, they get lost, they have to find their way back to Andy.
Full circle, and that could be
and then
the
they'll
end.
release Toy Story 6, 7, and 8
forever. Please
I don't know. But again, I'm going to reserve judgments just based on their track record so far. It's been, perfect, nearly perfect. So I'm going to let that be. However, I'm not sure if I can let it be, or nay, let it go. Because not only has Toy Story 5 been announced, but Frozen 3, as well as Zootopia 2 and Moana 2.
Yeah, I think Moana is a perfect movie, and it ends really well, and I don't think it needs a sequel whatsoever. I can see a Zootopia 2, sure. That lent itself to sort of a really expansive universe that could go in a lot of different directions. I think The Rock just really...
The Rock's into... He's putting his fingers into everything. He's not letting go. He refuses to let go with that rock-hard grip of his.
I thought you were going to say that rock-hard bald head of his is just trying to get...
Yeah, that also works too. Yeah. That also works too. But apparently, Moana was going to be a series on Disney Plus. However, Disney CEO Bob Iger, from what he saw, he was impressed with the footage that was presented to him, and so he said, "You know what? Make that show into a feature film." And so, if Bob Iger's on board. Again, I don't have a strong opinion about Bob, but that's the story behind it. It was going to be a series, most likely Disney Plus, and he's like, "That's really good. I think we can make more money out of this." I don't know how he sounds. I'm just making up this voice for no reason.
It's Bob Iger. It's a Bob Iger.
Yeah, so
he's a vampire too. Oh my god.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Out of Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, Zootopia, or Moana 2, which one do you think... This is a two-part question. Which one would be the best movie, but which one will make the most money off merchandise?
Well, it depends how much Hey Hey the chicken comes back in Moana 2. But I think, probably Toy Story. It will be the best and will make the most off of toys and merchandise. I think it's just will always be number one.
I think so, but again, Frozen is crazy. Frozen is a crazy juggernaut. So like,
That's true.
Girls and like they love that, and so they love the songs. There's music that could be sold. There's dresses and dolls and stuff like that. And so like we have plenty of Woodies out there for sale. We have plenty of Buzzes out there for sale. Yeah, they're going to introduce new toys that may be popular, like Spoonie or Sporky or whatever the other one was. But I think Frozen could be a strong contender for merchandise wise. I do think Toy Story would probably have the better story, but Frozen, maybe merchandise would probably could edge out Toy Story.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, between my 4-year-old daughter
Olaf.
and all the neighbor kids that come over and want to watch Frozen every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Totally see.
Let it go, kids.
Let it go, Disney. Can Disney let it go, please? Because you know what I would like, James? More than any of these sequels, I would love an original movie.
You fool.
I know.
That sounds ridiculous.
What was it that you said earlier to me? You're like, tough shenanigans.
Tough shenanigans.
Yeah. That's exactly what he said, folks.
Tell me, Jamie, what kind of original thing could we imagine or want, and like what were we promised? And surely it must still be happening, right?
No, James. It's
Oh no.
So we were supposed to, right, there was the Acme Coyote versus Meep Meep.
Yeah, Coyote versus Acme, Looney Tunes film.
The Looney Tunes film, which we had heard was an amazing film, but had been shelved. There was an attempt to save it, to maybe shop it to another production or another production house. I can't talk right now, but
no, it was like a phoenix. It was like a phoenix rising from the ashes, because people had heard a lot of good stuff about this film, and then the Warner Brothers was saying, you know what, we don't have faith in this. Who wants to see a really good Looney Tunes movie? Who wants to see that? Nobody. And so the word went out that this movie was going to be axed. The internet, said nay.
Exploded.
They could have been fighting for, world hunger or climate change, but they said no. We need to get this movie to the forefront of discussion, and it seemed like Warner Brothers kind of changed their tone on the tunes, and there was the idea of shopping it around. But now I guess we're learning that apparently the plan is to scrap it for a tax break. So at the end, Coyote gets run over.
So this,
yeah, I was trying to find a pun. It didn't really work, but you catch my drift.
So this film ultimately running off a cliff
is outie, yes.
The Coyote's outie.
I don't know what I'm doing.
The Roadrunner leaving us all behind. It is very, very sad to hear. Isn't The Rock in this one too? Or
no, John Cena.
John Cena, the other other wrestler. And as you said, so many good things heard about this movie. A tremendous amount. It breaks my heart, James, because to think about not just the A-list actors that are in these films, but the thousands, literally
poor A-list
thousands
actors
of people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into creating a film like this, who work, the production people, the background people, the people who are there 14 hours a day, every single day, putting something like this together, and for it to be a good movie.
Yeah.
And ultimately to just go into the dung heap, to be scrapped. It is going to be destroyed, James. So not only is it running off the cliff, they're not just going to put it in a back room somewhere. They're going to destroy it.
They're going to yell mean things at it and throw dirt on it and kick it down a well and then light it on fire.
I don't think that should be allowed. Do you? I think let's get our pitchforks out again. This is where the part of the episode, my weekly violent
calling for vengeance and violence.
For violence and vengeance.
Again,
right?
The Hub on Hollywood does not condone violence or acts of rage and anarchy.
No,
just putting that out there for legal reasons.
I just think that we need to all team up with the Roadrunner on this one and just get into the Warner Brothers studios, save the film, and then I don't know. Don't listen to me, people. I'm a bad influence. I really am. But it's heartbreaking. It's just, this is me expressing that it is heartbreaking that all those people's efforts will never be seen.
Yeah, that's the worst part. And yeah, you can't, odds of one or the film being leaked somewhere online are very low. They'll be able to track it or trace it to whoever did that, and then you get into all this legal stuff, so you can't even have fun with like, oh, we got leaked accidentally, unless somebody wants to take it for the team. Come on, take it for the team, just release it. But if that likely would not happen, but that does not happen, then we're never going to see this, what many have described as a really cool, fun, smart, and different movie, and not a sequel. Not a sequel. But
I liked your response when I sent this story to you. It, like, in all caps, you're like, this is why we can't have nice things.
It's true. It's true. Well, let us know what you think about this whole shenanigans, Coyote Vs Acme getting scrapped. And while at the same time Disney is releasing sequel after sequel after sequel of movies we've seen a plethora of times. Can I go for 3 times in this episode? I'm going to try to say that word 3 times, and then bells will ring. But speaking about ringing, apparently, Cher has been trying to get Paul Giamatti on the phone, but it hasn't worked out. And Paul Giamatti has no idea why Cher wants to get in contact with him. Did you hear about this story, Jamie?
I did not, but it is hilarious.
So Paul Giamatti, he was on the Howard Stern show recently and, talking about the Holdovers, talking about his career. Apparently, Paul Giamatti also has a podcast, which I'm going to be checking out right after I finish this episode of The Hub on Hollywood. But he says that over his career, over all the years in Hollywood, he says every now and then I get a message from somebody that says Cher, Cher, that Cher really needs to talk to him. Like, it's important, it's crucial that she talks to him. And he's like, why does Cher want to talk to me? And nobody will tell him what Cher wants to tell him about. And it's funny because he said over the years, there have been times where like Paul's like, yeah, you know what? Like, I have people, let me have them contact Cher and stuff. And so I guess one time, after these near misses and repeatedly being told, sporadically through the years that Cher needs to talk to you, Paul. And he's like, okay, just get her to me. Apparently one time Cher called Paul and left him a voicemail saying, so Paul, I hear you want to talk to me about something. And so that confused Paul. So Paul called back Cher, didn't answer, so he left the voicemail and says, hey, I think there's something there's a misunderstanding or something, but I heard that you want to talk to me. And then zero. Just doesn't hear anything from Cher for several more years. And this has been going on for a while now, and Paul is just like, I have no idea what's going on, but he would love to have Cher on his podcast. So hopefully after being on the Howard Stern show and sharing this story, Cher will share why this relationship has been going on for so long.
Maybe
somebody was saying,
maybe she just wants to know if Paul believes in life after love, after love,
after love, after love, after love. Somebody online was saying, how funny would it be if Cher just decided to, like years ago, make this, like do this prank where she just picked a random celebrity, Paul Giamatti, and just like, this is like her, this is what makes her laugh at night, just thinking about like somewhere out there, Paul Giamatti is wondering, why the heck does Cher need, not just want, but need to talk to me about something so important? And so that's just so random, and I love it. And
I feel
of
like
course,
I feel like if I was a celebrity, I would do that like just all the time to people. So.
That's funny. Well, speaking of Paul Giamatti and the Holdovers and him being nominated for an Oscar, as well as the film, him best actor, the film best picture, let's talk about a new Oscar category that was announced that will be appearing apparently in 2026. But the Academy will be giving an award for best casting. So this is the folks who go out there and fill the movie with the right actors. And I think it's a really interesting and very cool award to issue, just based off this year alone, based off movies this year. For example, The Holdovers. There was a casting director who came across Dominic Sessa, who was a high school senior who had never acted in a film before. He was doing the high school theater program, but nothing on camera. But they saw this kid and they thought, I think he's got what it takes, and he ends up being perfect for the film. And so it's things like that, casting agents, casting directors like that, who can put not only the right person in the film, but it can also sprout and springboard acting careers. So I like this. I like this new addition that we're going to see soon.
I think, one of the things that pops in my head as far as just perfect casting that is just out of this world was Captain Phillips in the film Captain Phillips, the person who plays the pirate.
Oh, the pirates. I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain
Another
now.
amazing casting. He had never been in a film before. So I just think it's an art. It's definitely an art form to find that right person. And we have amazing casting agencies here in New England. And I believe one of the amazing castings that was done here was of a good friend of ours, Dustin Tucker.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dustin Tucker, he is an actor. He's done a lot of stage work, but he got cast for 2 Oscar-nominated films this year, American Fiction and The Holdovers. I think if I had a nickel every time I mentioned The Holdovers on the podcast or in passing, I'd be a very rich man right now. But Dustin Tucker, he joined us on the Hub on Hollywood for an interview talking about how he got cast and his experience working with Alexander Payne, working with Paul Giamatti, working with Jeffrey Wright. Really cool guy, really cool dude, and really great interview. So without further ado, here is our talk with Dustin Tucker. The films American Fiction and The Holdovers are both strong contenders at the Oscars for Best Picture and Best Actors, Paul Giamatti and Jeffrey Wright. In both of those films, you can catch local New England actor Dustin Tucker. He joins us here on the Hub on Hollywood podcast. Dustin, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. It's awesome.
Really quick, it's not often that people can say that they've been in one Oscar-nominated film, but you're in 2. That's nothing to sneeze at.
I know, and I'm not exactly sure how that all happened, but it is such an honor and it's such a treat, and I'm so excited for both of them.
How are your friends and family reacting to all this buzz?
They're all really excited about it. I did not see that coming. And I'm a small part in both of them. I'm not one of the lead actors. I have a scene in each. And so for me, it's I'm just really proud of the whole project and both of them, and the directors especially, and the Jeffrey Wright and Paul Giamatti are just incredible actors, and to have met them was just a dream come true.
That's amazing, and a lot of what we talk about here on the Hub on Hollywood, we're always talking about the films that get made here, and the incredible talent that we have here in New England, and the opportunities that seem to be growing every year. I was wondering if you could talk about how these projects sort of came about, and how you feel about being an actor in New England.
Sure. Well, a little backstory of that is I when I became a parent, I used to be just primarily a stage actor, and I would go around the country and I worked in regional theater. And then when I became a parent, I did not have time to, devote to the theater as much. And so I was looking for an outlet, and a friend of mine was like, you should check out the film scene in Boston, because it's becoming a huge hub of Hollywood films are being made in New England now. And I was like, okay. So I looked into Boston casting, and there's a couple of other really great casting directors in New England, in Boston primarily. And that's kind of how I got started in the film industry. And it's so incredible, because the community of film actors in New England they're amazing, and they're so supportive of each other. It's a wonderful family to be a part of, and it's so cool to be watching major Hollywood films and like, oh yeah, I know Bill, or oh yeah, I know him. It's great. Yeah. It's awesome. I'm very proud of our community.
No, you should be proud. I mean, it's a great community, and Jamie and I, we've previously said, jokingly, but also seriously, that so many great movies, only the best movies, are made here in New England. And this year, there's no arguing that, because, like we said, American Fiction and The Holdovers, I absolutely loved The Holdovers. I haven't seen American Fiction yet. Like I said, I have a baby, and so time is very very tough to find any. But I've seen The Holdovers twice, and I absolutely love this. And so many people love this movie as well. When you were on set with Alexander Payne, with Paul Giamatti, at that time, did you feel like this was a movie that would resonate with so many people, or were you kind of like in the moment at the time?
No, working with Alexander Payne was a dream come true, because I was a fan of his before I got the job. And he is such an incredible director, but he's an incredible human first. And, he reached out, he called me at home to offer me the job. I mean, wow. I don't know how many directors actually do that, but he is that guy. And I knew of his work. I knew of he and Paul Giamatti's chemistry. So I had a really good feeling that that film was going to do very well. We actually shot it in 2022. I thought it would come out in the that fall, 2022, but I actually waited an entire year, and it came out 2023 in the holiday season, which was a great time for that film to come out. And I was not surprised that it did as well as it did, because he's just a master of filmmaking. American Fiction was kind of a different thing. I was not as familiar with the director. He's more new on the scene. That film did not have a title at the time. It had Jeffrey Wright attached to it and Sterling K. Brown, who are amazing people, but that one, it could have been anybody's guess how that was going to go. But once it started hitting the circuits and the festivals, and it was just blowing up off the charts, it was like, well, there you go. That one's going to probably make it to the Oscars as well. And it did.
Yeah, and for American Fiction, what was your reaction? Because they correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't tell you how they're going to be cutting the trailer. And then I'm not sure, it must have been a big surprise when you first watched the trailer and you just see yourself like second on the screen.
I know. It was very funny. My friend Michael Cyril Crichton, who is an actor, he's on Only Murders in the Building, and he's just a hilarious actor. We actually worked together on Dexter, and we became friends. And he messaged me that morning. He said, you should check out the trailer. So I did, and he's in the movie as well. And I was like, oh my gosh. Who would have thought, But it's very cool to be part of it and be seen like that.
And can you tell us a little bit about your process when you've got a big role like this and you've got to get ready for it, and how's your process in getting prepared and then showing up on set and working on set? How is that for you?
Sure. My process is to be as prepared as I can be, to know everything I can know about the script. For The Holdovers, for example, I was part of the table read early on. I was given the whole script, so I knew everything about that particular movie as much as I could know. American Fiction, I only received my scene, so I knew nothing else about the film. I didn't know who I was in relationship to these people, so all you can do is kind of come in with as much knowledge as you have and be as present as you can be, and just kind of let go. That's kind of my process. Also, when you audition, it's best probably not to change up a lot from what you gave in your audition, because that's why they hired you. So I sort of bring myself as much as I can to the audition and to my, when I report to work.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I have to ask. So, as I said, both American Fiction and The Holdovers, both up for Best Picture, and Paul Giamatti, Jeffrey Wright for Best Actor. I have a hunch of how you may answer this question, but who should win the Oscar?
Oh, no. Oh, God. That's the worst
James,
question.
how can you do this to him?
That's the worst question. Well, I'm going to say they're both equally, awesome. I think think it's Paul Giamatti's turn. I think he deserves it. I think he's to me, he's like the male Meryl Streep of the film world and TV world. And I think he's just incredible. And I think he's wonderful in this film. So I would say Paul Giamatti, but oh, sorry, I got a message. I have no idea who's going to win.
Yeah. No, I again, like I said, a huge fan of the Holdovers, a huge fan of Paul. I feel like this is his year. I think, like many other, like this isn't a crazy idea, but a lot of people, of course, saying Cillian Murphy is in the front runner for this. Oppenheimer, an incredible film also, and he did a great job in it. So I hope Paul wins. I would totally be supportive if he wins, but not surprised if Cillian walks away with it. But what are your plans for the Oscars show? Are you going to do a family party, or what's going on?
I'm waiting for someone to invite me over. Is what I'm waiting for. I mean, apparently, I live in Falmouth, Maine, and apparently there's this fancy guy who has this big Oscar party every year, and it's all the big wigs get invited. And I was like, well, I hope I get invited. I mean, come on, I live in the same town. But probably what will happen it'll be me and my partner and our son, and we'll just kind of like sit around and eat pizza. And
forward this interview to the guy with the party.
Exactly. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So Dustin, what's next in the future? Do you have anything lined up? Are you auditioning more? I know you do, again, like you said, a lot of stage acting. So what's in the works right now?
I'm actually just finishing up a show here in Portland, Maine called One Man, Two Governors, which is a comedy. It's been really fun. And that ends this week, and then I'm on a break. So I'm just back to auditioning, and we're just getting ready for the next one, whatever that might be.
So next year, 3 Oscar nominations, right?
That's right.
3 Oscar-nominated films.
That's right.
Only excellent. Well, Dustin, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we wish you the best, and we're going to keep an eye on you. Please reach back out to us, and we'll reach back out to you if we hear of new endeavors in the future. But again, so happy for you and your success and all the buzz around these 2 films.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
And again, a big thank you to Dustin Tucker. If you haven't checked it out already, check out The Holdovers as well as American Fiction, and follow him on social media. Follow his career. We definitely will, and hopefully we can have him back on the podcast.
That's right. One of the amazing things about this, and why I'm so happy to talk to Dustin, is it's great to see all of our local New England talent, not only just in the background, but getting principal roles, right? Being cast, being given lines, being given that big spotlight in some of the biggest, most influential films of the year. So that is just a really wonderful thing that we want to continue to see happen. And right now there are a number of feature films that are casting right now. Among those is a project called Ella McKay that's got Woody Harrelson and Jamie Lee Curtis down in Rhode Island. And Boston Casting is handling the background casting for that. They're looking for lots of people on this one. So go ahead and sign up for bostoncasting.com. You can make a free profile there, get the emails yourself, and get yourself into that production. But we're also looking at a number of casting calls from Slate Casting. They're looking for college students with siblings in high school. Must be local to Rhode Island, pays $1,000 for 1 day of shooting, so that is not bad, non-union. If that sounds like you and your sibling, reach out with send your information to slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com. Slate is also looking for high school juniors, just high school juniors, probably for the same project.
Very specific.
So that's slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com.
All right, perfect. Well, another jam-packed episode. I love it, and I also love this trivia game that we have recently started playing in the past several weeks. CineQuote. Let us know, have you hopped on the CineQuote train? It is a daily game, but Jamie and I will be playing today's game, and I think last week I said we're like 1 or 2 and 3. I think we're like maybe 3 and 4. We'll check.
No,
there'll be a tally.
We're 2 and 4. We're 2 and 4.
We're 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's check out.
Could be worse.
We could be worse. Yeah, but we're doing well. We're gonna change the tide with this one. I could feel it. But again, if you are not familiar, CineQuote is basically a game where a mystery movie is picked every day. You have 5 guesses to guess which movie it is based off of quotes that are provided. And so, Jamie, we will kick this off if you're ready. We can hit a quote in 3, 2, and 1.
You remember where you came from. You remember what it took to get you here.
Yeah, don't immediately know what movie that's from. You remember where you came from, and you remember what it took to get you here.
I don't know.
Do you know? Out there listening, watching? You remember where you came from. You remember what it took to get you here.
I see. Do you recognize the voice at all?
Let me play one more time. In 3, 2, 1.
You remember where you came from. You remember what it took to get you here.
I feel like this is sports related. I feel like there's like a hint of crowd, like, cheering in the background, like lights. I may get killed for this, but I never really watched Remember the Titans, but I feel like this may be it. However, this is not Denzel Washington, I don't think. Does this ring a bell?
No, not yet. So why don't we go on to the next?
Okay. We will skip this one. Okay, we will skip and ready to play quote 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Heaven knows I don't mind being involved with large numbers, right?
Don't know.
This one's a tough one. Heaven knows I don't mind being involved with large numbers. What could it be? Nothing? Anything?
Nothing's ringing any bells for me. And
okay.
All right. I think
have
want to
to
skip
go 3.
this one.
Yeah, I might have to. Okay. Unfortunately, I skipped 3. My guesses per game average is not doing well. Okay. Quote number 3 in 3, 2, 1.
Give everybody a present and drop this chump, all right?
I have no idea what this is. This is not ringing a bell at all. Give everybody a present and drop this chump, all right?
All right. Drop this chump.
Give everybody a present and drop this chump, all right?
Oh boy. I think we're going to be stumped.
Okay, I hate to do this, but we have to skip, I think.
Could this be... Well, I don't recognize the voices, though. I was thinking, could this be A Beautiful Mind? Just when it comes to the quote about big numbers, but...
I don't think so, but let's guess. It won't hurt to guess. A, B, E, A, U, Beautiful Mind. I'm going to submit, if you want to also submit that one.
Okay.
Like submitting in 3, 2, 1. Nope.
No.
Okay. Here is guess number 4. 3, 2, 1.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
Rock.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
No, it's not Dwayne Johnson.
There is no tomorrow.
No, it's not Dwayne Johnson. But it's still going. Okay. Damn, Rock, come on. What's the matter with you? Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. Are they in prison? Are they trying to escape?
No, he says rock. Could this be Rocky? Could this be a Rocky movie?
It doesn't sound. I'll play it one more time. In 3, 2, 1.
Damn, Rod, come on! What's the matter with you?
You don't hear like a Sylvester Stallone voice.
Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow!
I missed it. I have to play it again.
Sorry,
Hold on.
go for
There
it.
is no tomorrow!
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Damn, Rod, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow!
Does sound kind of like Sylvester Stallone.
There is no tomorrow!
Tomorrow, let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow!
Could it
Maybe
be
like Rocky 3 or like, which one's the one where Apollo Creed dies? Is it 4?
Oh, I
Rocky
have no
3?
idea.
Let's try Rocky 3.
Rocky 3?
Rocky 3. Oh wait, is it? No, wait. So the first one's Apollo. The second one, is it with? Which one's the one with Mr. T? Because the Russian one, that's the one where Apollo dies. Is that 3 or 4? I need to catch up on my Rockies. But well, I'll just guess Rocky 3.
Okay.
We'll guess Rocky 3 in 3, 2, 1. It was.
Oh, yay! All right.
And there's Carl Weathers right there. A little clip right there showing afterwards. Correcto Mundo. Rocky
All right. Yes. See?
Oof.
Now we can do that victory dance at the top of the stairs. Yeah.
The pressure. I was feeling that. I almost said Rocky 4. Said Rocky 4, but Rocky 3. Oof. Okay, cool. I feel great now.
Oh, okay.
Man, that was really stressful.
We did it. High five.
Let us know. High five. Let us know. Did you know from the first guess, second, third guess that was Rocky 3? Oh my goodness. Well, that was great. We're winners. We're winning. We're ending the show as winners.
That's right.
Again, great episode. Thank you so much again, Dustin Tucker, for joining us on the Hub on Hollywood. I'm feeling a high right now, Jamie. I don't know how to explain it, but this is a good episode.
You're on top of the world. Go. You just knocked someone out, and yeah. Well, here's the trophy. You got the CineQuote trophy.
Adrian. Yes, we did it. Dylan. Right. Okay, cool.
For more of these victories on the next Hub on Hollywood next week. Until then, I'm Jamie.
I'm James.
We'll see you then. Bye.